Hello everyone, I'm the Gug. Thanks for tuning in as I attempt to do what hasn't been done yet to my knowledge, which is to rank every single LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga character, including DLC from first to last. The main problem with this is the fact that at the time of recording this, the game isn't out yet. So instead of going straight into ranking the characters, I figured the best option is to explain how I'm ranking the characters and go into the methodology in order to stake my claim, so that once the game does come out, I'll just need to fill out the missing information on my list, adjust what needs adjusting, record, and then get this video out. This is my very first video, so if you're interested in the list I eventually put together, stick around and maybe consider subscribing, so you don't miss the actual list once it's done. Now, I won't be doing the whole character list at one time, at least not at first. My goal is to do it category by category, each with their own videos, culminating in a master list at the end. And before I go into detail with my ranking system, I do want to mention that I am inspired to do this by watching Snazzy S's character rankings for previous LEGO games, so shout out to him for providing the inspiration for me doing this. Now on to my ranking system. This ranking system I've come up with consists of 5 categories, and in each category a character can get a max of 5 points and a minimum of 1 point. So this means that a perfect score is 25. Spoiler alert, no character has gotten, or in my opinion will get, a perfect 25. But the closest to a 25 a character is, a better ranking they'll get. Once all characters have a score, I'll then choose a top 10 out of the highest ranked characters, and organize those who tie in the order that I believe they should go in. You may disagree, but that's cool. I'm sure I'll have a lot of hot takes, and I'm curious what other people will think. The first category is originality. This measures how original this character is to LEGO Star Wars games. This is probably the most subjective category, since there are some pretty concrete parameters. So the way scoring works with originality is that if a character is the exact same as they were in an older LEGO game, which really isn't that many, they receive a 1. If they've appeared in the same appearance before, but is substantially updated, they will get a 3. If they are a character that has been in a LEGO game, but this is a new appearance, such as Ceremony Luke, they will get a 4. In order to get a full 5, they have to be brand new. This is your Snice Noodles, your Clods, your Mama the Hutts, etc. This category heavily favors new characters and appearances over old ones. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that if a character has been around a lot, looking at you, Farm Luke, they will not score highly overall. The second category is obscurity. This category will be scored based on how obscure this character is relative to the others. My basic test is that if you watch all 9 films in one sitting, how likely would someone be to remember this character's name and face? This category favors the more obscure characters, so if someone is not likely to remember them at all, such as Yarael Poof, they get a perfect 5. If it would be nearly impossible to not know who they are, such as Han Solo, then they will get a 1. Again, this purposely favors characters that many may have missed. Combined with the first category, this ranking list seems to put a high premium on being new and relatively unknown. So this next category is meant to balance that out. The third category is plot relevance. The test for this category is if you remove this character from the movies, does it substantially impact the plot? This is where a lot of the characters who got a 5 in obscurity will get a 1. As a matter of fact, I'd say most characters that have a 5 in either obscurity or plot relevance have a 1 in the other. This means that the list so far values a character being brand new to the franchise, being obscure, and being plot relevant. Now with only these 3 categories, some characters were coming into the top rankings who I didn't necessarily think were deserving, since the top character with these characteristics seemed to be Shmi Skywalker. Now don't get me wrong, I love Anakin's mom as much as the next guy, but I don't think many people will defend her being the best character and what's shaping up to be the biggest and best LEGO game. Call me wrong, but I just don't see this being the best result. This is where the next 2 categories can help balance this out. The fourth category is usefulness. Where the other categories focused on the character in a film sense, this category is the first to value them in relation to the game that they're in. So if a character has a lot of abilities that are helpful in most scenarios, they'll get a high number of points in this category. This is the only category that is blank on my list, since I don't have the game in hand and can't accurately determine any character's usefulness in relation to the other characters. I believe the best way for me to measure this category is to see which characters are most useful to main and free play, and how many puzzles or story elements they are able to complete. The fifth, final, and potentially most controversial category is extra credit. So this category is completely based on how I feel about the character and how beloved they are by me. This is my opportunity to give extra points to the characters that I think deserve more credit. So in order to stop me from going too crazy with this one, I did set some limits. I only allowed myself 5 characters who could score a 5, only 10 who could score a 4, and then gave myself free reign with 3 through 1. Some, probably many, might disagree with my choices of who to give extra credit to, but that's the beauty of making my own video. I can get drunk on power, and no one can stop me. And so with all the categories worked out, I'll use a quick example from LEGO Star Wars 3 to demonstrate these categories on an actual character in an actual LEGO game that I can actually play. And since he's always been my favorite character, I'll choose Boba Fett. So using these categories, Boba Fett will get a 3 in originality, since he was previously in the complete saga, but was substantially upgraded. He will get a 1 in obscurity, since people who have never seen the movies know who he is, and he even has his own show. He gets a 5 in plot relevance, since he captures Han Solo leading to the events of the ending of Episode 5 and the beginning of Episode 6. He gets a 5 in usefulness, since he can hover, access bounty hunter panels, shoot enemies, and use thermal detonators. And finally, he gets a 5 in extra credit since he's my personal favorite character and is a fan favorite of a lot of people. Which brings his overall score to a 19 out of 25, which ain't too bad. So there you have it. Once I have the game in hand and I'm actually able to finish up the ranking list, I'll hopefully be able to get the first character class, the Jedi, out soon after. Please subscribe if you're interested in seeing the list once it comes out, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Bye for now.